keynote address, where we will be exploring the theme of the importance of digitalization. Why exactly should we embrace digitalization? Well, to speak to us about this topic, we have a very apt keynote speaker for that. It's my pleasure to invite and introduce him to you. Our keynote speaker is Dr. Anura Ratnayaka, who is the founder and CEO of Advanced E-Textiles Private Limited in Nottingham, UK. He's an outstanding scholar and scientist with a master's degree from the University of Bolton, a postgraduate degree in relation to new researchers, and a doctorate on new dimensions of electronic and smart textiles from the Nottingham Trent University in England. Thanks to his innovative ideas, Dr. Ratnayaka bagged the 3rd place at the Global Change Award organized annually by the H&M Foundation. And he won this award for his revolutionary innovation called Content Thread, which facilitates the sorting and recycling of clothes using a digital thread. So Dr. Ratnayaka is here today to speak to us about digitalization and its importance. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's now welcome our keynote speaker on stage. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Anura Ratnayaka.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm honored to be here to support our Sri Lankan young generation. So, digitalization, you know already. I think I don't have to explain these days, especially after COVID-19. You know already, your children already using digital platform to study from home. So you know the advantages and the importance. But let me explain you using mainly my own experience, why digitalization is important. Because I shouldn't say, but I have to say, thanks to COVID, Amazon owner, Jeff, became the richest man in the world because of this. He started this digitalization early than others. So still it is not too late. So this is right time because when they invent those digital platform, no one realized. But now you can see, you can close your eyes and invest without thinking twice because you can see the importance right now because we are already using digital platform. So as explained, I won Global Change Award for Content Thread, which is RFID thread, to connect with the world. So RFID thread, I'm the inventor of RFID thread to the world. So that is just a vehicle to carry data from physical world to digital world. So one example, we are working on actually global platform. We are going to develop a global platform to connect entire fashion textile industry, supply chain. So then we realize we have to use blockchain. I'm not expert in blockchain, but they will explain you what is the different blockchain. But we realize we are dealing with very sensitive information, human globally. So therefore, we have to use a very secure platform. So therefore, we are going to use blockchain. That is one example from my experience. Other experience, actually 2 weeks ago, Primark, 11 billion USD company in UK, they never use internet platform to sell, and they always use physical shops. But now, actually, they are considering, they never use RFID either. So now they are considering to seriously enter into the world. Otherwise, do or die. So there is no choice now for fashion world. So another example, during one of my pilot project with the US, one of major brand owner, PVH, 8 billion company, the owner of Tommy Hilfiger and CK. So they, during my pilot project, 2 years ago, I went to US few times. So then I was really curious to see what is happening in Silicon Valley. So I went there, I spent 3 days. I went to few pigeon event. Can you believe? Most of them were related to blockchain. So then I realized, because like you guys, I really didn't believe blockchain and digital like bitcoins, all, it just, I never believed. But now I have to, because people are really using this technology. So, so that is my another personal experience to realize we have to learn this technology and we have to use it. So I think I'm not going to spend a lot of time to spend, to explain about this technology. They will explain you. But from my global experience, this is like a fire, like a virus, like a COVID-19. So everybody's consideration about digitalization. So even nowadays, we are already using like I have 3 banks account in UK, 2 banks, my company, 2 company banks, and my personal bank accounts. I can't remember when I went to bank. Everything I'm using digitally from my mobile and online. It's very convenient, very efficient, and very fast. So that's why when you use digital, you have to use a secured way. So then that is the time to think about blockchain technology. Because why important? Because you can, you can decentralize. Like Google, they have different location, decentralized platforms globally. So it's very easy to manage. But like I said, I'm not expert in blockchain, so they will explain you. Thank you so much. Good luck, my young boys.
Thank you very much to Dr. Anura Ratnayaka for speaking to us about the importance of digitalization and also for sharing your personal experience. And I'm sure with his opening words, we can all realize why we need to embrace the latest in technology. Now, talking about technology, ladies and gentlemen, in the recent years, as Doctor has mentioned, there has been a lot of buzz about blockchain technology. Now, blockchain, for those of you who are new to this, is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, to hack, or to cheat the system. So the main and most successful application of blockchain is for cryptocurrencies and for financial transactions. So now it's time for us to find out a little bit more about this revolutionary blockchain technology and how it can enhance trust in both record keeping as well as your financial transactions. And to now speak to us about blockchain and cryptocurrencies and why it is crucial, especially at this point of time, for us to embrace this blockchain, it's my pleasure to now invite on stage the community manager at Mobiglotech Blockchain Corp. He's also known as Crypto Guy. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome now Evan Pereira. Let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Whether you know it or not, you're about to, how should I put it, be exposed as investors to something really incredible. If you listen carefully and you understand, ask the questions, you will find out that this is almost a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm not saying that Exip is the only place that you can find that, but it's definitely a place in Sri Lanka at this point in time that you're incredibly lucky to be in this audience and have an exposure and a possibility of getting into something wonderful. So with that, let me kind of try to explain how this whole thing, not how this whole thing works, that's impossible, but give you one part of what we are about. So, how many of you, I believe it's everybody, but how many of you have heard about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Please. Are there people here who have not heard? Okay. So, this whole game of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, blockchain, this all came about for one main reason. And that's because somewhere down the line, people began to figure out that the people in power, the elites, the governments, the politicians, these people basically get everything, and the rest of us are left with crumbs. Almost in any concern, we are left with the crumbs. Now, granted, there are some of us who might get a few more crumbs than the others, but the whole bread loaf definitely does not come to anybody in this room or a whole lot of people that we are around. Those are the people that people know as the 1%ers. So back in 2006, 2007, 2008, there was that big crash. Okay, everything from banks to financial institutions almost collapsed. The entire financial industry of the world almost collapsed. And with a bunch of manipulation, with a bunch of printing money, with a bunch of bailouts, somehow or other, they were able to scrape by and keep things going. During that time, there was, well, no one knows whether it was one person, a group of people together, but we call him Satoshi Nakamoto. He figured out one of the best ways that we can handle this or take the power away from these people is to create a monetary currency that is completely 100% independent of the rest of the financial world. Today, the only people who can officially print money is countries, central banks, and they do whatever they want to enrich the richer people and to constantly and consistently downtrod and make worse the situation through inflation, through a whole bunch of other things for the rest of us. So Satoshi came up with this technology or idea to create money that is completely private. And that's where Bitcoin began. So in 2009, January, he created his first block. Now, blockchain, this whole thing about blockchain, guys, don't worry too much about understanding this whole thing. Blockchain is just a ledger. It's just kind of like you have a transaction or a bunch of transactions that's put together in a block. The next block is built upon that, So it's a whole set of blocks laying in a chain. That's all blockchain is. Now, we don't need to understand the whole concept of blockchain to be able to use this technology. It's almost like buying a car. You can buy a Ferrari, you can buy a Ford, you can buy anything you want. You don't really have to know how the engine runs. So there's the hybrid engines, there's electric cars, there's the whole combustion cars. We don't care. We just need a good vehicle, get in it, and do our thing. So that's what these cryptocurrencies and tokens are all about. As we know what it's going to do, we know a car will get us from point A to point B. How we get to that, is it a comfortable car, is it a rough ride? That is all dependent on which currency we choose. So there's almost 10,000 cryptocurrencies now doing different things, but it all started with Bitcoin. He laid out the plan, and everybody else followed. And once he's figured out, or once the world figured out, we can apply this to financial gains, other people started to come in and apply it to other different sources. Okay? So today's cryptocurrency, there is probably about, I would venture to say about 5% that deals like a currency. The rest of it is all revolving around some other technology or some other useful matter to the world. Okay? It could be GPS systems. It could be kind of like us recording websites, owning domain names. Okay? So there's a vast plethora of those, and today we are just going to focus on one of them. Once again, what is the main crux of this whole reason for blockchain to develop and for blockchain to take off and for a whole bunch of people to come into this field? The answer is very, very, very simple, guys. One thing: privacy. Privacy and control. Today, everything in this world, like I said, are controlled by the elites, by the financial games, by the politicians, because everything is centralized. So if you take the Sri Lankan government, for example, let's put the government, central bank, all the banks, all the financial institutions, you, me, my bank account, everything is controlled by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, who knows everything that we do, every transaction we do. They can freeze our accounts, they can do whatever they want at any time they please. This is what we are trying to avoid. This is what blockchain is all about. Because rather than allow one entity, no matter how big, no matter how good we think that entity is, rather than allow one entity to control everything, we are saying, no, no more. We are going to take that system and break it up into so many little pieces. So, example, if I write a letter, the whole letter is not stored in one place. That letter, 2 digits of this is stored in his computer, 2 digits on his computer, 2 digits on... So nobody, that's why it's unhackable. Because in order to get all that information, somebody would have to control the entire thing, which is centralized, and we are purposely breaking it up into so many pieces that not one person can break it, hack it, or control it. Therefore, getting the power back to the people rather than the central authority, whoever that may be. That could be Amazon, that could be Google, that could be the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, that could be the US Federal Reserve. Doesn't matter. We are taking the power away from them. So, this is one of those, this whole blockchain technology is one of those events that is a massive event of change that will transfer or shift wealth from one set to another. A shifting of wealth. That happens, folks, very, very, very rarely. Huge wars will do that. If you want some examples, the railroad in the US did that. The oil, suddenly when they started using oil, the combustion engine, that did that. These are major, major events that changed the entire course of human history. And this is one of them. Blockchain, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, this is one of them. So, basically what we're all about is we want to not privatize, we want, privatize so that nobody has the power to be able to take it away from us. Okay? So having said that, what is, we talked about decentralization and talked about cryptocurrencies being one of the most successful things. We talked about Bitcoin and blockchain. Okay? Now, why? What are cryptocurrencies? Well, we explained that. So, like I said, remember I said, guys, there is about 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. I mean, these things pop out from every place now, doing different things. So, Exip is also going to do something different. Let me give you an example of what different things means. Do I see anything here? Neo, Ethereum Classic, okay. Let's say a coin, there is a cryptocurrency, I wouldn't call it a currency because using the word currency is now wrong. Because there's only a few of them that are specifically geared to be used as currencies. The rest of it gains value, but think of it almost like a share. They're not there to be transacted as money, but as a share in some big project. Okay? So, everybody's heard of GPS, correct? GPS is controlled by different satellites, different governments, militaries. Now Tesla is putting his own satellites. Doesn't matter. These are not things that we can tap into. Okay? If they decide to shut it down, nobody can do anything about it. If they decide to take Sri Lanka and say, look, no more satellite feeds for you, no more GPS systems for you, because we don't like the way you're behaving, for whatever reason, you're done. Think about how you would go about life today. Even the simplest of us, even the little child, will completely and totally be messed up if GPS systems goes down. Whether it's time, whether it's their schedules, everything is working under the GPS system. Right? Now, there was a company, I believe the name is Foam, F-O-A-M. Foam came up with a beautiful idea. They said, hey, we are going to create our own GPS system, but we are going to let individuals, wherever they live, they are going to make a small little node, and then that becomes a little node for Foam. Like that, thousands of people around the world are now making their little nodes. So pretty soon, spread out wide enough, if the GPS system goes down, we have another blockchain solution that is completely decentralized and privatized that nobody can stop anybody from using. All right? So now let's get into Exip. All right. So we all know about websites, correct? So Amazon.com, Sri Lanka gov, all these are website names. Now, these are all controlled by two entities in the whole world. Just because we have an LK designation does not mean that Sri Lanka is controlling that. Nope. Where is my slide? All right. So Anna and I can control every single website in the world today. What do I mean by control? Well, they give us permission to use it. First, we have to go and purchase it. We have to go and book it. Oh, they'll check it and make sure that nobody else is using it, and then they'll give it to us. Then we take that and we have to pay money for it and register it, and now we have the use of that. However, there is one little tricky situation. We do not own that website. We don't own it. They own it. Anytime they want, they can take it away, they can lock it up and throw away the key. You can build the most wonderful business and be doing millions of dollars worth of business. If they decide to shut you down, they will shut you down. Now, people think, but that doesn't happen in the real world. Of course it does. About 3 or 4 months ago, going back to Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, there's a whole bunch of things happening there with the election. And certain big social media companies decided that they were going to oppose Donald Trump. A lot of it was happening on Facebook. And Facebook started stopping messages, canceling messages, taking them offline. So another company, then, and a whole bunch of people who were conservatives, who were supporters of Trump, started dropping Facebook. And most of them started going into a different app called Parler, P-A-R-L-E-R. Suddenly, within months, Facebook people were dropping, Parler was just increasing leaps and bounds. Guess what happened? Google and what's the one? Google and somebody else just completely stopped anybody being able to find that site. But still people knew about it, people were emailing each other, somehow they knew, and they were still joining. Now, unfortunately for Parler, they were hosting their website on the Amazon servers. Amazon woke up one day and decided, no more are we going to let Parler. They just shut it down. All their servers, they removed Parler. So suddenly here's this thing that had millions of people joining, and just like that, overnight, nobody could access it. This is some serious stuff, guys, okay? The big boys are controlling this. Twitter has banned Donald Trump. No choice. Done, gone, okay? Now, this has been happening. Privacy issues, cancellation. That's the newest trend. They don't like something, they cancel you. They remove you. You have spent years, hours, millions building a company that works on a platform, and suddenly, poof, it's gone. That is what Mobiglotech is trying to prevent. Because we are in a situation where we are trying to, not that we are trying to, we have succeeded in giving you your own control over your own website. Rather than register with ICANN or IANA, you now get to do it through a blockchain via the Exip method. Once you do that, nobody can shut you down. More to the point, like I said, if you get a LK, it doesn't matter what website you get, you had to first reserve it, you had to go through the whole issues with them, make sure it's okay, then they finally give it to you. And guess what, folks? Every year they send you a little notice saying, hey, your $30 is due, your $50 is due, whatever it is. And so you keep paying, and you keep paying, still never knowing that they can, whenever they want to, they can take you out. Guess what? Exip is offering, you can create now. We don't even have to go through and deal with the .com. We can make it whatever you want. I can make it .avan, right? Whatever is available, we can do it, we can register it, and now the biggest thing is we will own that forever. One payment, one time, we own it forever. Folks, if you get the power of this, if you really, really, really get the power of this, that you can go out and create your own domain, create your own TLD, and then own it for the rest of your life for a one-time payment. Later on, you might be able to sell it. You heard of people getting websites and then selling. It happened in the first, when the websites first came. Some smart people got together. They took all the fun names, they took all the good names, and they stored it, and then they just waited. They just put up a website and said, this is available for sale for $1,000. They paid $30. You heard of those stories. Well, we got another option here. It's coming up. So, how many are you going to purchase? How many are you going to allow them to purchase? Only one today, right? Okay. Don't worry about it. Coming up, we have many of them. So, folks, what I'm about to tell you is, this is an incredible opportunity. You're sitting at a place where not only can you actually get involved and do your thing, but you can actually get involved in the company, get involved in the Exip token itself, and hopefully it'll be the investment of a lifetime, that transfer of wealth that I was talking about. All right? So with that, I end, and this lady is going to tell you who the next speaker is. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Evan, for giving us a very comprehensive insight into blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, and also for sharing with us how Sri Lanka now has a very unique blockchain solution that is all set to disrupt this system. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, with the Exip project that is being launched today, this is all set to be the largest blockchain project launched by a Sri Lankan company. Exip is also going to be the first project in the world to create a secondary internet by the community and for the community. I'm sure you all agree, ladies and gentlemen, that this revolutionary technology made in Sri Lanka is also ready to now create immense value for our own country. So it's now time for us to explore more details about the Exip ecosystem and to share with us what is the business strategy to make this project successful. It's now my pleasure to invite on stage the founder and CEO of Mobiglotech Blockchain Corp. He's also known as Genesis Block. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now welcome Sashi Meghavarna.
Project Exip, the extreme internet protocol that we are going to talk about today. I think Evan has explained you how the censorship is mismanaged in a situation like by the big companies and the governments and everything. So I'll explain you what we have developed and what we are planning to do in the future to get the resistance of these things and how we are going to get our own power into our hands. Okay. So, starting from the company overview, so we started this company in 2018 as a hobby actually, right? So, few tech leads getting together and we were talking about blockchain, what is cryptocurrency, how we are going to format these things in the future, and this is coming up. This is going to transform the economy in a way. So, we have opportunity in the future, so we'll start something. That's how we begin. The entire community of crypto lovers in Sri Lanka and the blockchain lovers get together and they funded us. In such a way, they funded us and we started this thing. So initially we were thinking about how we are going to transform these things and we came up with so many ideas and we were like, okay, getting into the markets, how we are going to do it. But unfortunately, our investors were not in a situation of understanding what we are talking about. So anyway, so this is not the only project that we are involved in. So we have recently, somewhere around 8 months ago, we have completed some foreign projects also for some foreign partners. And we are involving with the main project is going to be the Exip. And we are involving with the DevNet and the Startup Hut INC. The DevNet is going to bring the accredited investors into Sri Lanka in such a way through an online platform. So I'm not going to elaborate more than Startup INC is sort of a platform that in the crypto arena, most of the startups will come up and they will scam the people and go out. So the Startup Hut INC is going to avoid that. So, and we have already registered in USA and hopefully within next few months we will be starting that. Okay, so that's the company overview. The Exip ecosystem, what we are trying to do and what we have planned. Okay. This entire ecosystem is based on blockchain because, as Alan explained, blockchain is a decentralized system, right? Nobody get into hacked. Like, let's assume, so your bank account. So the bank maintains the ledger. So now let's say X person sends to send 1,000 to X person, right? So bank will update the ledger. In the blockchain, what will happen is it's decentralized and each and every copy will be shared with the peers and the people who are involved in these things. Okay, so the blockchain is unhackable in such a way, right? So we have been using this technology. When the Bitcoin comes, every governments and most of the governments want to take it down or shut it down. But they won't be able to do that just because of the decentralized nature of the blockchain, right? So we are also blockchain based and I will explain you how we have done it. Decentralized internet. Why we need decentralized internet, right? We have been played like rats in a lab. Okay, just assume. So we are using day-to-day life. Internet is a must of our lives, right? We surf internet. We surf through the Facebook and everything. So have you ever been noticed what we are searching for in the Google? The next moment it will come to your Facebook. So how we have to do that? That means we have been censored. We have been censored in a way like rats in a lab, right? So what we do, and Google Timeline shows you what you have been and where you have been in the entire month with the Google Timeline, right? So do we actually need that? I don't think so, because we all have to have a privacy, right? So we create decentralized internet in such a way, okay? So this ecosystem will provide you all in one ecosystem in a decentralized way. I'll explain you one by one when the time comes. Okay, can you move up? Nisa? NFT-based domains and TLDs. What is the domain name and the TLD is? Domain name is such a thing like your address of your home, right? And the TLD is like .com, .org, whatever the TLDs were issued by ICANN and IANA. So the top, we call it top level domain, right? This is all issued by the ICANN and IANA, and they have the power to seize, revoke, and remove it wherever they want. And it has happened in the history. So do we really need that? Right? So we are revoking that. The NFT, non-fungible token, is sort of a thing. There won't be two non-fungible tokens equal to each other. That's the wonder of it. So we are using the same technology in our ecosystem to give you the ownership of the domain and the top level domain. And high privacy and non-traceable. So do you want to be get traced? Right? We never want to get traced. So if you go to a hotel and have a drink and you don't want to tell that to your wife, right? So nobody would like that. So if she goes to your Google Timeline and she says, okay, oh, you have been to this restaurant and you had a drink with your friends up to this level of point. Do you want to happen? Personally, I don't like that. So that is there. So when our ecosystem is launched, you will have the high privacy and the non-traceability of the entire system. Okay. So blockchain agnostic and the non-hackable, the blockchain meant to be non-hackable. There are few ways of getting into 51% attack and everything. But the way we have created it is not going to get 51% attack even, it's quantum resistance. So that is the wonder of the Exip ecosystem that we have. Extensively cost effective for user. Okay, assume that you are going to purchase a domain for the moment, right? So you go to the Namecheap or whatever the domain registers. These domain registers were appointed by ICANN and IANA. They have given the license to issue the domains on behalf of them. Actually, what we do is we are renting out our domains from them. We don't own it. Right? As I say, they can seize you, they can revoke you, they can remove you, whatever they can do. Right? So, and the most important thing is we have to pay them manually. So it's time to take our power back through the internet. Right? So in this ecosystem, you don't have to do this. You will have only one-time payment for that. Right? So once you pay for the domain, it's done and dusted. You don't have to pay any more because it's run by the community. I'll explain in the latter part how we are going to do that. Okay. The project components that we do have at the moment, this Exip ecosystem, we have a DNS system, and I want the entire thing to be showed in here. And we have Exip DR, domain reservation system, and the Exip browser, Exip token, and the hosting service. I'll explain one by one. Exip DR, what is DNS? Actually, we humans are not robots, right? So we people can remember, rather than the series of numbers, we can remember names. Now, let's say, okay, 0 to 255 series of numbers as the IP addresses. Who's going to remember that? But we can remember facebook.com. The DNS system is the system which because computers can't communicate with the characters. They communicate with the numbers. Okay, the DNS is the system which is mapping those things, and way that we are looking at it, and it shows us because of the DNS. So in 1980, Paul McApotris, the guy who invented the DNS, right, and still we are using the same system. Okay, so I think Exip is the one who is going to break it. Okay, and the Exip domain reservation systems, once you come up with the domain name and everything, we will give you the domain reservation system, and the auction system will be there once our entire ecosystem goes live. Okay, so the Exip browser. Why we need a browser? We all know Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and everything is in there. So we have been used to surf the internet and go to whatever we want. We go to the browser. So these browsers will support only the TLDs created by ICANN and INA. If you want to type .bit or .basa or something like that, your existing browsers won't support that. Why people? I don't recommend to go to the dark web and deep web. But if you want to go there, why you are using a Tor browser and 9 browser? Just because of some browsers support some TLDs and some browsers won't. The Exip browser, I'll explain later part why we need Exip browser. Okay, so Exip browser will be there. And the Exip token. So when the Bitcoin was invented, people were like the first transaction of the Bitcoin, 400 Bitcoins were done for a piece of pizza. If my guess is correct, right, Anaya? Oh, wow. So if he had that in his wallet right at the moment, he may be one of the trillionaires in the world. I'm correct, right? Okay. So that's how the entire blockchain and cryptocurrencies got worked out, right? So when I was looking at the, in 2014 actually, I'm looking at the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. I have no idea what is this, but I felt like, okay, it's sort of a freedom creating thing. The community will decide what to do. Because Bitcoin was not issued by a central party. The governments, the whatever it is. So it created by the people. People has given the value. Right? So the Exip token is sort of a thing that you can create the value to the entire ecosystem. I'll explain you one by one when it comes to that. And the hosting service. Yeah, of course, we can do whatever we want, but if you can't host your website, that is going to be a major issue. So, this entire ecosystem can't be built under one night, over one night, okay? So, I'll explain you the timelines and everything. So, that's where we need the investments, and how we are going to do it, we will explain in such a way. And Exip domains, yep. So, the domains, as I say, so facebook.com, Facebook is the name of the domain, and .com is the TLD, right? So Exip domains and TLDs, usually you don't own the .com or whatever the shit you buy from the existing system, right? You actually, what you are doing is you are renting it out. And as I say, they have the power to revoke it, remove it, and with our system, it's going to be one-time payment and you don't have to pay more. For the entire lifetime, you own it. That's what we have done through the blockchain, right? So, conventional domains like, so as I say, owner will be the ICANN or INA, all the domain name provider or the domain name registrar will be the owner. So in this system, because of the decentralized way that we have created it, you will be paying only, you will be the owner, and this existing system, averagely you pay at least $7.25 per annum. And in our system, it is far better below than that. And it's a lifetime payment. So that is the wonder what we have created. Okay. Exip token, the most important part, okay? So, who knows what is the total supply of Bitcoin? Can you raise your hands up? Huh? We have a team here. Right, okay. We have 21 million worth of Bitcoins in the world, right? But in Exip, you will get 90% below, only 10% of the total token supply what Bitcoin has. We have only 2.1 million tokens will be distributed among the people, right? So the value of the Bitcoin for the moment at around 9 p.m. last night, it reached all-time high for $60,000. Right. If you have bought it, or if you are keeping it for, if you have bought it for 0.33, which the value it has been open to the market, now you are going to be, if you have 10 bitcoins, you are holding like 333,000 for the moment. Just assume how it has become. Just because nobody has created the value, the people has created the value, right? Not the governments, not any third parties. Actually, we have created. The value of a token is created by the supply and the demand, right? The supply and demand created by the general community. So, what we have done here is 2.1 million tokens will be distributed among the people, right? 90% better than Bitcoin. So, and even there are far more better opportunities that you have who holds the tokens, right? So, promotional distribution is 75,000. That means if anybody is going to promote us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever the social media event, right? So we have created a platform for that. We will get, we have allocated 75,000 tokens for that. And the team, it took for me to create such a dedicated team, 3 years to get the proper team into the business, right? So definitely they have to deserve something, right? So I have allocated 25,000 tokens for them. And the advisors, why the advisors? Okay, so we think if we are the masters of the game, no, there are so many people who can advise us. Okay, you do this, you will fail, or you do this, you will success. The advisors are like that. So we have identified people who can support us on the thing, right? So advisors will get 25,000, and we are talking about not the local advisors, we are talking about the international level. And reserved, because for the futuristic of the token and the entire ecosystem when the get it runs, we may need reserve tokens to be there, like you have a fixed deposit in your bank account to keep your company healthy, right? So equity investors, the people who are going to get invest on the project, they will get 100,000 tokens. And the pre-sale means that we will put the tokens onto the market in such a way, okay, you know the project, you can analyze this project, and if you decide this project will gain some value in the future, we are issuing it on a $10 basis and take it up. It's up to you. I'm not talking to you all guys because we are doing the free sale in a cryptocurrency exchange in a foreign country. Unfortunately, countries like us, we don't have that much of regulations. Okay, so then we have divided the entire token supply into some stages. The first come will get benefit level, right? So 100,000, 400,000, 500,000 up to late. So 2.1 million tokens will be issued to the market, and the value is the total value that we are going to get on the token offering is 29,250,000. Okay. And the token holders, okay. So if you hold a Bitcoin, you will get the value if the market goes up, right? So in our token, we have created such a thing through smart contract. So once, let's say, okay, you go and buy a domain from our system, and we will be taking some percentage to the token holders. So the guys who are going to have the tokens will get staked from each and every purchase of the domain. And yeah, can we move forward? The miners. Okay, who are the miners? The Bitcoin network is there just because of miners, right? So Bitcoin is, as I say, is decentralized such a way right? So the miners supporting the system, if the miners not going to support the system, the entire network will go down, right? So you have to have miners, or we call it nodes, or even Bitcoin was built on Segwit 32 segment, right? So, and there are so many blockchain segments came up with Neo and Ethereum and recently Binance Chain and everything. So if the miners are not there, if the community is not supporting, you are down, right? So we have to reward this, because the entire DNA system is runs on your mobiles, your PCs and everything. So you have to get paid because you are supporting the network, right? So that's why we call it by community for community, right? So miners will get rewarded from each and every domain, as I say, the token holders and the miners will get compensated when each and every domain purchase. Okay, who runs the DNS? Okay, and the Exip browser. So Exip browser, why we need a browser on this thing? We need a browser. Usually we are using Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox, those sort of things for the moment to browse the internet. Actually, that is the platform that we are entering into the internet. You go and type your domain name in the URL bar, and also nobody knows what is happening, right? Once we put our entire ecosystem into the game, so the recent browsers won't support, because they support only the TLDs created by ICANN and IANA, right? So we have to have sort of a browser who is supporting to enter into the new internet what we are creating. So that's why we are creating the browser, okay? So our browser will support the Exip domains, but Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox won't support our new internet, okay? But we have plans for that. So we support other domains. They don't support other domains. And the safer browsing experience means, as I say, the blockchain is meant to be decentralization. Once the entire ecosystem was built in the blockchain technology, right? So we have the safer browsing experience on the thing. And the high privacy protection is there, but being centralization and decentralization, you have to think about yourself whether we are safe or not. And not hackable because of the decentralized environment that we are creating to our browser, and the other browsers are it's hackable. And we are providing access even to .com, and what are the ever since created the TLDs, we will provide the support to access the secondary internet that we are creating, right? So, but other browsers won't do that. So, just considering the case, so let's say you all have been used to use Chrome and Mozilla Firefox, so you don't want to move out to another browser and do it, right? So, we are providing a browser extension where you can install it within your browser, and you can easily do it with the existing browsers also. So, okay. Okay, the strategy, how we are going to get into the market, and the pricing, as I told you. For the moment, you all are paying annually, and you are paying more than $7 per domain reservation, and in our system, we are charging you only lifetime one payment. You don't have to pay annually. And the extensive marketing means it doesn't mean if you build a Ferrari and keep it at home, right? So if you build something, the entire market has to know what you have built. So the marketing strategies will be there, and the technology what we are developing is extensively developed by us from the scratch, right? We are not using most of the things what is existent, and is because of the decentralization and customer support, because most of the blockchain projects what I have identified as a team, we have identified, they are not giving customer support because people has not been used to blockchain technology or whatever. So when somebody comes and asks, okay, what is blockchain and how we are going to integrate the smart contracts and everything, we have to be there to support them. Because as I say, this is a community-based project. So we will be providing that also, and the community-based, right? As I said, the community has to have the power to control this entire network. We have developed it in such a way the community will get the power. Even by being the developers of the system, we are not able to control it. Okay. So the marketing plan, how we are going to market this is, because the cryptocurrencies and other things being marketed in different stages, in different platforms, in different scenarios. Okay. So we have been hand-picked up already with such marketing agencies, international level, because if you all are thinking this is going to be a Sri Lankan project, no, this is going to be a global project. So what we are going to do is, we are having an immense marketing program using outsiders and insiders of the team. So the influencer marketing is pretty much of very important when you are going into the market in the cryptocurrency arena. So that's how we are going to do our marketing in such a way, and our more than 30% or something we have allocated from the total investment that we are going to for the marketing, right, Nisal? Yeah. Okay. So marketing is very important. So these are the things that we are going to do, and these are not going to be the only things we are going to do. There are several ways that we can get into the market. So basically you can have a PR distribution and everything. So we have been handpicked with some international agencies who can deliver the job for us. And yeah, how we are going to implement the project. Okay, as I say, we have started in 2018. So launching the Exip browser, we will be launching our browser in May. Like ITO marketing, actually ITO marketing means the initial token offering. Okay, so initial token offering means that you put the tokens into the market by saying that we are going to develop this thing and the people will buy by seeing your project strategies and everything. So we are going to do that, and the domain reservation system. So that's what we are doing for the moment. And development of exchange. Okay, development of exchange means so when you are dealing with cryptocurrencies, you have to have a sort of a thing to where you can buy it and sell it and trade it, right? There are online platforms where you can get your KYC, and two types of exchanges are there: decentralized exchange, DEXs, and the centralized exchange, where you have to go and put your KYC onto that, and that is where you get your Binance is centralized and UNICEF is decentralized. So those things are there. And as I say, we had a plan to have a cryptocurrency exchange by ourselves, but it's not concrete based. We have the considerations for the moment. Okay. So offering multi-cloud hosting facilities, as I say, you reserve our domains, you should be able to host it, right? That facilities will be available by July. So if we are going to do the exchange, we'll be launching it somewhere, but don't take it too much serious, just only the concept level, because if we gather some PR from the crowd, if we are going to launch an exchange, the liquidity will be high. We are getting so much of money. So thanks, guys. There are so many things to be concerned, and the financial reviews are the most important thing for the investors, as per my view. So I would like to, yes, Trishi? I'm not a financial expert. She will introduce the proper person.
All right, thank you very much to Sashi for giving us an overview of the Exip ecosystem. Yes, you can put your hands together for Sashi. He also told us about the business strategy to make the Exip project successful. Now, For anyone here in the audience who's looking to invest in the Exip project, I'm sure there are several questions that you would like to have answered at the very outset, including what are the revenue streams, what is the capital requirement, and what is the financial overview of this project. So just as Sashi mentioned, we will now have a financial specialist coming to speak to you about this, to answer all of your queries regarding this investment opportunity. Our speaker next is representing APN Consultants, which is a financial advisory firm, and he's here to speak to us about the investment opportunity of Exip. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's now welcome Nisal Fernando. Let's put our hands together for him.
So yes, so it's a difficult task for me to explain the financials here because you're not going to believe it. Because we are going to talk about a project which has an ROI of, oh my God, how I'm going to tell this number, which is 600%. All right. So stay calm. So we are going to discuss now how we are going to generate this. What is this ROI and what sort of a revenue that we are looking at with this project. So first thing. So firstly, let's identify what are the revenue streams that we are expecting from Project Exip. Right? So, firstly, let's discuss the main revenue streams that we have considered in our projections. At the same time, there are predictions that we have, the revenue streams that we have not considered in our predictions. So, these four types of revenues are the ones that we have actually considered in our projections. First one is obviously, basically, the main source of revenue is domain sales revenue. At the same time, this token sale is also going to be a revenue of the company within a very short period of time. So then listing fees, as Shashi mentioned, we have an idea of releasing an exchange to the markets. So if that comes to the market by January next year, so we will be having listing fees on projects. At the same time, so with the exchange, we can expect to have token exchange commissions. So these are the predictions that we have used in our predictions. But we are missing out. Actually, we have, for the moment, we have kind of scoped out these predictions. These streams of revenues. Banner AdWords and revenue, so which is going to be generated from the browser. And so we'll be providing multi-cloud hosting facilities. So for that, there will be a hosting commission. At the same time, so one of the major stream of revenues, which is domain auction commission. So these stuff actually we have not considered in our predictions. So let's go to the predictions. To the next slide, please, Shashi. All right. Before the predictions, let's see what our requirements. So to bring up all these, to generate all these revenue streams, there should be an investment for sure. So today we are going to do this soft launch, but for us to go for the grand launch, so there are certain parts to be done. Basically, this project is now 90%, close to 90% is done. But the world needs to know that there is such a project that is going to replace the current internet. So there's a huge marketing campaign that has to happen before the grand launch. So most of your investment, so we have gathered here, actually, so the parties who are gathered here are interested in investing in this project. So you need to know where these funds are going to go. So basically the investment that we are looking at is somewhere close to 1 million USD. As you can see in these tables, so most of the costs that we have to incur are on the launch. Starting from the top, so there will be, so we have to register this, basically we have to go online, launch this project in multiple countries. For that there are some registration fees. At the same time, during the launch period, so to run the office and infrastructure, other things. At the same time, to reserve the patent, there will be an investment. At the same time, this will be, we will go to the market with multiple exchanges. So there will be exchange registration fees that we have to pay for exchanges. At the same time, as you can see here, the bulk goes to I'm going to skip other stuff. So bulk goes to here. As you can see, is for marketing, so which is 250,000. At the same time, we have done something to securitize you. To securitize your investment, there will be a securitization bulk which is going out, which is somewhere close to 300,000 USD. This is on actually tangible property, which is actually a land that the company is getting in at a way low price than the market rate. Actually, that party is becoming one of our shareholders. So we'll be giving that party some shares and getting the land to secure your investment. Basically, that's a securitization cash outflow. Basically, that land is going to cover your 1 million USD investment, which is going to come. So going forward, okay, so now you know how we are going to spend those monies during these 6 to 8 months periods. So now we need to know what sort of inflows that we can expect from this investment. All right, so this is basically a summary of the financial performance. We can say this is a summary of income statement. So you are seeing some crazy numbers here. So stay calm. I'll explain you how we can generate these numbers. So the first year itself, so the revenue is an unbelievable number, which is 30 million USD. So let's see how we can do this. Please, Shashi, put the revenue slide as well. Yeah. So this is the revenue breakdown. So the token offering is not going to be something which lasts for a long period of time. So which will be finished within maximum 2 to 3 months time. The token offering is expected to be sold out. So the total value of tokens, as Shashi explained, the total value of tokens comes to somewhere close to 29.25 million USD. Not LKR, by the way, it's million USD. Right? So please don't get confused. So all the figures are here in USD. And your investment is only going to be 1 million USD. Right? So then we start the main stream of revenue. As you can see, the domain sales. So in the first year, we are not expecting a lot of domain sales in the 2021. So it's going to be just $1 million from domain sales. Actually, I have to remind you something. So today we are going to launch basically the domain reservation system. I would say, and we are also like giving you TLDs that you haven't ever bought in the market. You haven't been able to buy TLDs in the market. So I will advise you, please jump and buy as much as TLDs you can. It's going to generate you something unbelievable in future. All right, so with these domains, so we are just assuming like in 2021, we are, hold on. Generate this much. So expecting to like boost this source of revenue going forward like this, capturing the domain market by 2025. Because this is, believe me, this is going to be a crazy project which is going to shake the market. It's going to shake entire domain market. So these source of revenue streams actually we can consider as some supplementary sources of revenues, basically, which is expected to come from exchange, basically. Token listing fees and exchange commission fees are expected to come from token, the exchange that we are expecting to release. So just consider these two, the domain sales revenue as our main stream of revenue. So yeah, going forward, as you can see here, okay, please go to the next slide, then we can see what sort of a cost structure we have here. Okay, this is the cost structure of the project. So as you can see, the main cost element is on the top, the allocation for node runners, as well as for the token holders. Because there will be an allocation, as Shashi mentioned, that project Exip is going to stake the domain, basically the token holders as well as the node runners. So that stake allocation you can see on. So that's the major part of the cost, which is going to be, and so the rest of the cost items actually are not going to be that much material, because the tech project you don't need, it's not a factory or something, you don't need a huge staff to manage it, and this is very decentralized. And with this environment, there won't be much of an operational cost, except for like the revenue delegation or the revenue allocation for node runners and for the token holders. Please, Shashi, next slide. This actually we discussed. So this is the launch expense. Launch cost is going to cost somewhere around 700,000 USD. The additional 300,000 goes to your securitization, which is basically the land that you are buying at way below the market to secure you. So, yeah. So let me explain how you can invest now. The next slide. Yeah. So this is the investment opportunity. So you are considering at the moment. Okay. So the investment opportunity is with Mobiglotech Blockchain Corp Limited, so which is at the moment a private limited company, but it's in the process of getting converted into an unquoted public company. So if we talk about the shareholding structure here, as you can see, so this is also a decentralized structure. So the way that the shares have been distributed also is kind of decentralized, not centralized to one person or something like that. So the founder is only one part of it. So there will be a resource team who's getting shares. And seed investors, there are like, so because for us to come to this stage, there should be some investment because this has not generated revenue yet. So these seed investors are getting, have already got these shares. So basically, then there are other resource providers like the person who's providing the land for us to secure. And then here comes you, basically the investment offer is for 20% stake of the company. This 20% is going to be massive, believe me. So, yeah. All right, the company is Mobiglotech Blockchain Corp Limited. So the shares that you are getting out of this company, Mobiglotech Blockchain Corp Limited, it's basically the parent of everything. And there will be some opening ups in foreign countries. All those companies will be 100% subsidiaries of Mobiglotech Blockchain Corp Limited. So you are getting shares out of this company. And so if you talk about the projects involved, so the main project is basically Exip, but it's not only Exip. So there are some sort of stakes with two other projects, DevNet and Startup Hut. So moving on, so the total number of shares of the company is 10 million. So it's going to cap at that point. So there's not going to be more shares above that in future ever, no. So the total number of shares to be issued is going to be 10 million shares. So then now the funding requirement is 1 million USD, as I mentioned. When it's converted into LKR, so it's 200 million LKR. So there's a securitization, as I mentioned. So this security covers close to about 95% of your investment. So the securitization is there to cover up your investment. And the allocation for investors is going to be 2 million, which is 20% of 10 million shares. All right, so then so we need to break this investment into 2 million pieces. Then the share price you get is 100 rupees per share. So this is the investment, the opportunity at a glance. So you can invest starting from 100,000 and you can go up to 200 million. So hold on. Right. So it's securitized and ROI is crazy. I'm not going to talk about it again. And basically per share price is 100 rupees. And at the same time, it's another big thing. So actually we discussed this before also. In addition to the shares of Mobiglotech Blockchain Corp that you are getting, as something complementary, you will get some tokens to the value of your investment. So there will be a token distribution for the equity providers. So I guess this has not been considered when we computed these ROIs. So I'm not going to talk about the ROI again, please. Please go front, please. Right? So, all right. So 100,000 to 200 million you can invest. So we discussed this stuff. So please put the next table, Shashi. So this is how the ROI has been computed. So it's basically considering the total cash flows of the project, delegating 20% stake for the investors for $1 million investment. So if they have got 20% of the stakes, the ROI is going to be 613%. So this have come by ignoring a lot of sources of revenues, ignoring the fact that you are getting Exip tokens. So everything has been ignored here. But still, so we had to stop showing, we had to stop at a certain level that we can show some sort of an ROI, otherwise you are not going to believe me. But please, the next. Right. All right. Please, there was a valuable point. So this, at the same time, so now you are investing, probably today. So there's another special thing that I need to highlight. Once the ITO is done, once the initial token offering is done, so there's an interim dividend that we have planned before the 31st December this year to pay you back your entire investment as a dividend before 31st December this year. So with a dividend, so you are investing 100 rupees today. So once the ITO is done, once the tokens are sold out, so we are not expecting to, we are not going to say it's going to be 100% sell out, but at least 50% of these tokens are, get sold, then there will be a special dividend so that you will be getting your 100 rupees back for each of your shares that you have purchased. But you're not going to take your share back, but it will be a dividend so that your investment payback is going to be like 6 to 8 months, very short period. So every dividend that you are getting after that is going to be your bonus, basically. At the same time, okay, this is the dividend plan. So the payout ratio for the first year is pretty much low, it's 30%, but still you are getting what I said. And it's going forward, so for the moment, we are expecting to maintain a payout ratio, which is basically out of the profits. The distribution is basically the payout. But don't worry, if you don't pay, your share value goes up. I mean, with the 60% that we are retaining, the share value goes up. So simply you can sell the share. So with the share value appreciation and everything considered, so your ROI will be there as we promised. So then 30% payout, with the 30% payout, so this is the interim dividend that I said, which is going to be 5 million USD out of this, 20% out of this is going to be your 200 million investment altogether. And so there will be a final dividend like this from 2022 onwards. So there will be a final dividend, which means there will be a dividend payout only once a year. So at the end of the year. So that is going to be 40% of the net earning. So which is going to be generated, is expected to be generated by Mobiglotech. Please, next slide, please. So this is the per share dividend plan. So in the first year, as I mentioned, in 2021 itself, when the ITO is done, there will be an interim dividend. This is only the interim dividend expected in the future. And there will be a final dividend going forward in 2022, 2023. So likewise, so the final dividend here you can see is somewhat crazy, which is 7,600 rupees per share. Okay, let's launch. So I'm done. So thank you very much, Rishi. So let's start about the. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Nisal, for giving us a financial overview for the project as well as talking to us about this incredible investment opportunity that Exip provides for its investors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you've already heard this morning, Exip introduces a decentralized blockchain-based domain name system which eliminates the centralization of the entire internet user community. The new domains will be accessible and made much safer with the Exip browser. And in this new system, users will have full ownership of their domains with greater security and privacy. Now, Exip has collaborated with Niftron Private Limited as their blockchain partner for this project. And therefore, as our final presentation for this morning, we will now be hearing from a representative of Niftron who will be taking us through the Exip domain reservation flow. Our speaker is Sharmilan, who is Niftron's co-founder and CEO. Sharmilan is a blockchain consultant and advisor for multiple organizations and startups. His startup, Niftron, is a blockchain as a service platform. Niftron is also one of the promising blockchain startups from Sri Lanka, which recently won a SARC award under the Best Newcomer category. So with that introduction to Sharmilan and Niftron, to now speak to us about the Exip domain reservation flow, let's welcome Sharmilan. Let's put our hands together as he joins us.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Exip launch. And I'll go and start this session with a totally different perspective than what Avan and Shashi was mentioning. So I hope like you now have an understanding about like what it is and what is the domains and a little bit about blockchain and decentralization. So as a blockchain-based blockchain service company, and we are a partner with Exip for this project. So I'm going to give a bit of intro about what is blockchain and why we need such kind of a technology, and why Exip as a project chose to do with blockchain instead of doing without blockchain. So you maybe have a question like why Exip is going with blockchain, that they can do it without a blockchain as well. So I'll be given an answer for all of these questions based on a brief about that. And after that, I'll be take you through the launch and how you can purchase your domains through Exip platform today. So so as we've seen like the advancements of the technologies throughout our past. For example, like in the past years, like if you take it as like from birth towards like still like how we are living to now, if you see it like take a step back and just imagine it's like how many things were changed in our lives in the past few years or past few decades. So the special important thing is like the way we communicate with another person, it's totally changed. So those days it takes like so long, hours and days to communicate with another person. But now we have instant messaging apps and social medias to connect with anyone in the world in a matter of seconds. And the way we watch movies is changed. So those days we have to go to movie theaters or we have to buy the movies at homes and watch it. But now you can be in your comfort zone and just you can watch any movie that you want. So similar like that, the way we travel is changed recently after Uber is came. So the way we are traveling is totally changed from Uber. And even nowadays, like the way we eating foods, it's also changed. Like most of the times, I hope like most of you agree, like how many people like making dinners at the nights. So in Colombo, like the most of the peak hours for Uber Eats are the night times. So the way we are buying foods or the way we are eating foods is also totally changed. We are buying products or buying clothes, everything is changed to online applications than how we did it in the previous. But if you noticed carefully that there are some things in our lives that is changed. So one of the important thing is trust. So trust is one of the main aspects in human's life. So if you take it yourself, like we do everything based on trust. So we make a friendship based on trust. We make into relationships based on trust. And if you are doing a business with a company, you are doing it based on trust. And if you are coming today for this, it means that you are trusting the team or the Shashi. So someone you have that trust and that's why you are here. And same thing for the business to businesses or business to customers, everything is based on trust. That's how the human operates in their lives. But if you see it, as we see, the way we eat foods, the way we travel, the way we watch movies are changed, but the way we trust with another person is not changed. So it's not changed for so long. So those days, like, people can trust two person easily. But then, like, as people are growing and expanding, it's very difficult to trust an unknown person. So they keep it as a stranger. So what you need to do is you need to have a middle person who can provide that trust for you with the two untrusted parties. So that's where the central parties like banks or advocates came when we are doing a money transitions as banks, or if you are transferring a land ownership to another person, the advocates comes in because they don't have trust. We don't have both trust, so we trust centralized persons. So that is the only advancement that we had so far. So the current era, the best and the one and only technology that is reinventing the trust is blockchain. So that is one of the reasons that Exip is going with blockchain, as well as a company as a blockchain as a service Niftron, that we are helping the organizations and businesses to move to blockchain, because that is the only technology that can improve your trust. And as I mentioned, as an individuals or a businesses, trust is blind. And you can use blockchain to reinvent the way that you trust. So that is a bit of an intro, like why we need blockchain and why we are going with that. And I'll take you through the flow. So then I'll explain you a bit more things about how you can purchase these things and how you can use it. So be patient that don't hurry up and go and purchase it, because I'll take you through the flow. So you'll understand, like, there are different things as we are categorized for different uses, because the aim of the Exip is not to target only blockchain people. So the aim is like it's targeting the layman users towards blockchain experts. So we have different levels that you can purchase domains and how you can maintain your ownerships and all. So just follow me, and if you are going to buy it, and I'll take you through the flow. So initially, if you go to exip.live, so that is the like URL that you have to go for Exip. And once you comes, you can see a reserve button here. So once you click this reserve button, it will take you through a portal where you can able to buy your domains. So we have categories in Exip. So we have domains, and you may heard many people talking about TLDs, the top level domains. So what we are offering today is we offer buy that TLDs. So you're not buying the domains, which you can buy it later. Can I get it? Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah. So what sorry for that. Yeah, what you are going to buy today, or what we are going to sell it today, is top level domains. So you are not going to. Yeah, so what you are going to buy today is top level domains, and you are not going to purchase the domains today, which you can purchase it later part. As the way that we are providing these top level domains is, or the reason that we are providing top level domains as first is, there's no one done it in the world so far. So if you go to any decentralized domains or any GoDaddies or anywhere, you can find it as, you can only buy, like, for example, like exip.live or exip.com. So you can't buy .exip. So which is what we call it as top level domains, because which is the ones that controlled by IANA and ICANN that you heard about Avanaya's session, like how IANA and ICANN control these things. So we want to, or Exip wants to break that pattern that they want to issue at the start as top level domains. And you are getting the top level domains for $1, as you were already listening it as how it's going to happen, as it's only charging for $1 per top level domains. And we have one more restrictions. At the start for this beta launch, we are only restricting one accounts to purchase one top level domains, that you can't buy a bulk domains at the moment, but in our second version, we are going to allow it as people to buy bulk domains, as well as when you buy these TLDs, you can create unlimited domains under the TLDs. So for example, if you have .lk, you can create unlimited domains that extension with .lk. So we have your TLDs, and then whenever someone comes to create these subdomains under that, so then you can actually sell it to them and you can get the commissions as well. So that is the whole plan about how Exip is going for their version 2. So if you comes here, you have to just type what is the TLD that you're going to get it. So most probably, like, you can buy some TLDs for your companies or offices, or else you can buy for your own self as well. Like, you can put your name and you can get it as .shashi or .tavern as the names as well. So the first one that I'm going to explain it is we are going with .exip as we are launching Exip Project today. And I'm going to start with how you can purchase .exip. So you can see the flow, and then you can go and purchase your own ones. Sorry for the technical issues. So once you can search .exip, you can see that there's a symbol comes here, and then there's a domain price, and then how much the asset fee or a transaction fee, and then you are getting the total cost here. So what is this is? This is one of the blockchains that we are currently using. So when it comes to blockchains, there are thousands of blockchains out there. So blockchain is a technology, and there are blockchain providers like Ethereum, Stellar, Neo, and there are thousands of blockchains. So this is one of the reasons why Exip is connected with Niftron is because Niftron is a blockchain agnostic platform. So we are providing services for any business to connect with blockchain. At the same time, you can connect with multiple blockchain at the same time, and you can transfer assets to different blockchain to a different blockchain as well. So one of the advantages that Exip is providing is you can create your TLDs or domains with any blockchain that we are listing now. So we have starting with one now, but we are going for the other blockchains in our next versions. So once you are buying this domain in Stellar, later if you want to create that domain in Ethereum, because every blockchain has different purposes, and some blockchains, they offer you to trade your domains in different places as well. So when you buy it in Stellar, and if you feel that, okay, you don't want Stellar-based domains, but you want to convert your domain into Ethereum, you can simply go to Exip, and you can switch it to the cross-blockchain as well. So that option also will come in the later part. So now you can only purchase this through the Stellar, and you can see it here that it's starting with .exip, so that is the extension that we are providing as you see .lko.com. So you are buying .exip, and later once we are launching these subdomains, Exip can go as team.exip or project.exip, and same as like shashi.exip or avan.exip, they can go for the team members as well as subdomains. So once you come here, you may notice that the price is not $1, and there's a small $0.6 is increased. So the reason is when you are using blockchain, you have to make transactions to the blockchain. So the way you are communicating with any blockchain is you have to call that blockchain and you have to make a transaction. So whether it's account creation or whether you're sending a data or whether you are creating these NFTs, you have to talk with blockchain in a transaction manner. So each transaction that you're making, they'll be charged a transaction fee. So that is what it comes as that 0.6. So the total domain price that Exip is going to take it is $1, plus you'll have that transaction fee, and then you'll have it as 1.63. So this is why you are getting that 1.63 as an amount. And other reason is that we are going with Stellar is, as we mentioned earlier, like Exip target audience are not only blockchain-based people, but we are going for the laymen as well. So there are blockchains like Ethereum and all, like you can go, but the transaction cost is very high. So you have to pay like $15, $20 to purchase it. So which is not affordable at the moment for the layman people. So that is one of the reasons that we are going with Stellar as well for our beta launch. So once you come to this part, you can just add this to the cart. So you will be get one comes in your cart. As I mentioned, you can only purchase once at the moment. And you can go and you can click checkout. So when you check out, you will get this notification. So sign in with Niftron. As we are a blockchain partner for Exip, we are offering them wallets as well. So Exip is, Niftron is having a specialized wallet for NFTs. So NFTs is called as one of the type of a tokens in blockchain, a non-fungible token. So which is, based on that only we are creating these domains. So we have a wallet that will maintain NFTs in a perfect way and in a secure way, and it will provide services for you to easily transfer it to another person as well. So you can go and you can sign in with Niftron. So your domains will be actually comes and store in our wallets, and you can access it anytime. And if you want, you can take it outside of the Niftron, and you can put it in any of your external wallets as well. So you can go to the use another account because I have already created another one. And you can go to the register page. And when you're going register, you can see that it comes as like pick your poison. And you have like 3 levels of boxes like low, medium, high. So it's actually, you are picking your poison because the reason is we are providing privacy and ownership based on these categories. So if you want low, that means there is a very strong poison that you are taking because low privacy means It worked for some cases, it worked for some users, but actually we are recommending to go with high, because why I'm saying is low is very difficult one, or not a good one to go ahead with this project, because it has, you can see it has a low privacy, and but it has high convenience. So what happens is, when you are creating a blockchain account, if anyone created a blockchain account, you'll have experience that it gives you long strings of numbers as public keys and private keys. So it's very difficult for a layman people to remember that private keys and store it, because people forget these things all the times, and the layman people, they don't understand like what is the importance of these keys. So because our people are like mostly familiarized with passwords and reset passwords, so that's why we are going with these 3 setups. So if you are going with high, you will have your ownership, 100% ownership with your accounts. So you'll have your private keys with your device, and you'll have your public key with your device, which is not stored in Niftron, as well as which is not stored in Exip. But the one disadvantage can come is, if you forget your private keys, then there's no way that you can log into the Niftron wallets or access to the Exip domains, because you don't have the private keys. So if you feel that that is inconvenience for you, and you want a bit of compromise your privacy or ownership, you can go to the medium one, where we store your private keys, but you will have a password to encrypt that private keys. So you can put a password from the client side, which will be encrypt your private keys, and we'll be store the encryption one. We can't see it, and Exip can't see it, but you have to remember your password. So remembering a password is easier for many people than remembering like 64-digit characters. So that is the second part. And the first one is, we are using a traditional method, as you can use the email addresses and you can log in. So if you forget it, you can simply go and you can reset it. But we'll have your private keys in a secured way, but still we have your private keys. So that means you're compromising in some levels with Niftron at some points. So we always recommend to go with high, or else if you want more convenience, you can go with the medium one. So I'll show you a process as how it will work with high. So as it's a decentralized platform, and as we are not taking any personal information from the users, you can see here the registration is pretty simple. You don't need to put your email IDs, or you don't need to put anything, because you are going the high privacy user. So you just need to put your alias. So you can put anything as you want as alias. So if you put it, you can wait for a while, so it will be search it and show you whether it's available or not. And you can click this register. So this will take a bit of a time, because as you know, like blockchain is not same as you're accessing with the database applications, because it takes time, as I mentioned. Everything is going as transactions to the blockchain, so it will take a bit of a time it's going, as well as a bit of a time it's coming. So there are blockchains like Bitcoin, which takes like 30 to 50 minutes as the transaction time, and Ethereum, it's usually take like 7 minutes sometimes. But in Stellar, it's pretty lesser than all these blockchains. So that is what you can see it here. So it becomes in like 5 to 10 seconds you can get it. So this is what you are seeing it as a public key, and this is what you are seeing it as a private key. So you have to keep these things safe, so you can copy these things separately and you can store it, or else you can simply export this file. So you'll have encrypted details comes into your device, so which you have to keep it secure, because if you lose these keys, especially the private key, and if you lose this file, you don't have any way to access to the Niftron, or you don't have any way to access to the Exip. So once you come to the next part, you can go and confirm your checkout. So at this point, it will be asked you to approve as you are actually going to buy it, as you are going to put your signatures behind the scenes, which you don't need to put it manually as you are just now logged in, so it will be in your client side of the machines. So you can just click as approve here. So each of these actions will take a bit of a time lagging, because each of the actions based on Exip architecture, it's storing inside the blockchains. So to make it more transparent, what are things you are doing, as well as to make it more auditable and for the users. So you can, every single action is going to be stored in the blockchain, so it will take a bit of a time. So at this moment, I want to call a special person to reserve this domain.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the highlight of the event, which is the launch of the Exip project through the reservation of the very first top-level domain. And as Sharmilan said, we have a special person with us to do the honors of the official launch. We'd like to invite the director of Dave Salon Private Limited, Mrs. Shakila Rasangi, to join us now at this computer. And as you press the button, we will now have the official launch of the Exip project with a reservation of the very first top-level domain. There we have it. We have Madam Shakila Rasangi, who is pressing the button. All right, with that, we've had the card details and we have officially now launched the Exip project. Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate this milestone moment with the reservation of the very first top-level domain.
Yeah, so once you put these card details, the next thing that will be seen as the payment is success, and you will be come to the view order scenarios or view order page. So you can go to your my orders, and where you can see it like what are your pending orders. So it will be take a bit of a time as it's in pending state. So as I mentioned, like it will take a bit of a time. So it's most probably like will comes in another 1 or 2 minutes as it's received or it's succeed status. So you can wait here. Only thing is you have to do it is you have to wait in the payment process until you are getting that success message from the payment gateway. So after that, you can book these and you can leave your page as well. And whenever you want, you can come to Exip and you can log into these credentials that you have and you can see this one. Or else you can come to the Niftron profile.niftron wallets and you can see it from there as well, as we have the domains that you have it here. But you bought it from Exip, you can view it from there as well. So, and any person like who wants to not to keep your domains with Niftron or not to keep your domains with Exip, you can simply go and move that domains external to your blockchain wallets as well, like Ethereum or Stellar. So at the moment you have Stellar, so you can move to external Stellar wallets. So if you feel like not to keep with any third-party application, so that's also possible with Niftron. You can come and you can move it. As well as we have another option that if you are buying your domains for some of your friends or some of your family members, you can ask them to create an account in Niftron and you can make an inter-transaction without any cost through the Niftron as well. So that is also have one added advantage that Exip project is having through the Niftron wallets. So that's all about the whole process that how you can purchase these domains. And also, if you, we have some other additional features with Exip that is using it Niftron, that you can go and see your domains in the explorers, as well as you can go to directly to the blockchains and view it, whether these transactions happen, so all those things. So you can do those processes with this Exip project as well with the version 1. And so that's all about the flow, and look forward for the version 2 where you can book it from multiple blockchains. And at the same time, you can convert your current Stellar domains towards another blockchains as well. And there are many more other features also coming as interesting ones, as you can create your subdomains under the TLDs, and you can host your pages. So there are different features are coming. So I'm not going to reveal everything at now. So, and it will be like comes as a surprise for you when you're coming for the version 2 or the our beta version 2 launch. And so thank you all, and hope you all now trying to book your domains, and thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sharmilan, for taking us through the Exip domain reservation flow. And with that last presentation for this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the formal proceedings here at the launch of Exip, which is proudly brought to you by Mobiglotech Blockchain Corp and Dev Salon Holdings. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we've provided you with comprehensive information on how Exip is all set to be a revolutionary solution to help combat a global security risk, as well as it's all set to be a very attractive investment solution for all of you looking to invest as well. On that note, we would now, on behalf of the team, like to invite you to please join us for refreshments. And should you have any queries about Exip, our team will be on hand to address your questions as well. During refreshments, we will also have a few videos playing on screen, talking about a few of the themes that have already been discussed during this morning's proceedings. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning with us here at the launch of Exip, and I hope you have a wonderful morning and a day ahead. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and have a nice day.